One of the stories that's likely to get a lot of attention here at home today is this. Ever wondered how much your boss knows about your work from home habits? Millions of Canadians have made the switch to remote work since the start of the pandemic. And today in Ontario, for the first time in any province, new legislation will let some remote workers find out if and how much they are being watched. Hilary Johnstone is in Ottawa looking into this for us. Good morning, Hilary.
Good morning, Heather. Well, of course, there was that big pivot to working from home in those early days of the pandemic. It then, of course, also continued for many employees that they have continued to work at home for the most part of their job, of what they're required to do. But some employers, of course, might want to be able to track their employees, their productivity levels. But how do employees feel about that? And as you say, starting today, employers in Ontario that have 25 employees or more, and if they were at those staffing levels as of January 1st of this year, are going to be required to formally notify employees about the policies that they have in place when it comes to tracking their movements online, tracking their productivity levels. What are they looking at on the internet? How long are they staying on certain web pages, for example? Are they looking at things that have to do with their work, or are they looking at other things? So that will have to be formally communicated to employees exactly what the policy is. What we've been hearing from some lawyers is that they've had a lot of both employees and employers checking in with lawyers about how this is possibly going to impact them. Here's a little bit of what we've heard.
I think that's why this legislation is so important, because to date, we haven't really had that transparency as, what exactly is your employer monitoring?
So, Heather, I have a few more details here as well about how this is going to work. So, according to this new legislation, employers in Ontario are going to have to clearly state how and when employee electronic monitoring takes place, what information is being collected and for what purpose, and then also the date of that policy. So they now have 30 days to do this, and the date of any changes that are made as well, so that employees are also aware of that.
So Ontario, Hilary, as of today, the only province with this legislation on employee monitoring. But what are, if anything, other provinces doing?
So there are 3 other provinces that already have some rules in place, but those are under existing privacy laws. So those provinces would be British Columbia, Alberta, and Quebec. In those cases, employers are required to notify employees if they are being tracked, if they are being monitored. But employees here don't have a lot of recourse if they don't like these rules, if they don't like the fact that they are being tracked. Of course, all of this data can be used to decide whether someone gets a promotion, gets a new job, or is terminated. So definitely having some warnings here from the Canadian Civil Liberties Association to employees and employers to make sure that you stay within the confines of these new rules and that employees are notified if they're being tracked.
Hilary, thank you.
Thank
Hilary
you.
Johnstone is in Ottawa.